Hi, it's Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and today I have a messy putting color on paper project. I wanted to first of all show you some that I've already made, then I'll show you how I made them. And they're kind of mixed together so they're not in any particular order. This one already had some paint on it, it's an activity sheet, and then I added the marbling stuff over it. Kind of at the end where the stuff was kind of very mixed up. Here's one of the ones that I made. These are all really still damp. This one I actually brushed the mixture on instead of dipping the stuff in, which you'll see the procedure in a minute. Let's see, we'll do the ones near the end. There's that one. You can see they got a lot of green, and they're not in order like I said. This one had some paint already on it, and then I did the other stuff over it, which added the gold and the brown and the green. This I think is one of my favorites. See, we're doing marbling paper. This one, not so much interest, but still is okay. This is when we were kind of transitioning between the earlier color scheme and the later. This one has some purple and gold added. And this is another earlier pastel one, kind of moving into the green a little bit. We kind of got green as we went along because you'll see the stuff gets mixed and dirty. This I threw back in some of the earlier color that was around my container, and so that kind of mixed in. This is in the green realm with some gold. I really like that one too. This is a previously painted picture with the pinkish color, and then the other was added. That was near the end. This is an earlier one. It might have been even the first one. And so not the whole page is colored, but you can see the marbling swirling. As you can see, they're not in any particular order. So that's another one that we made. I had someone helping me. So I'll just kind of quickly show you some of the ones that we made. And then we'll make some other ones. This one has some nice swirls. This is kind of transitioning in, adding the green. Earlier colors with a little extra brighter color added back in. This is in kind of the middle, with the green starting to be in there. These dry fairly quickly, but they still have a little bit to go on the drying. And that's an earlier one too, and you can see these lines that were put into it. And this is another one that was painted with the stuff added over it. Okay, right before I begin, let me grab something to drink. I'm feeling, excuse me for this, but I'm feeling like I'm gonna cough otherwise. Okay, we'll move these that we did earlier out of the way. What we're going to do is use shaving cream to do some marbling for papers. So you just take any kind of shaving cream and put it in a container. I think we had probably more than we needed, but you want it to be completely covered, but we'll spread it to flatten it out. As you mix in the acrylic paint, which is what we're using, it will start to change the consistency some of the shaving cream. That's probably enough. You can also use food coloring. You could use ink. You can use watercolors. There's a number of things that you can use to add color, and the shaving cream is just your kind of transportation of the color onto your paper. So this is actually a frosting tool, which works nice to frost this around. And you don't have to have it perfectly flat at any way, and we'll be occasionally wiping this off. Okay, let's start with some red. This is a Liquitex basic, but you could do any color. Might be more paint than we really need. Previously, we used the handle of this toothbrush. We used the handle of this wider brush, and we used the handle of a skinnier brush, but when I washed stuff up, I think it disappeared, probably in the house. So I will grab another one. It's a good use for these really cheap watercolor brushes that you get in the kids sets, because they're not very good to paint with, but they're a nice size, I think, for doing this. So you can just kind of swirl your paint around. Maybe you want to go out in some kind of a design. I haven't tried this before, but I kind of like it going out like this. Okay, and you get it however you like it. Then you just lay your paper on it. I'm using a dollar store dishwashing bin. You can use a cookie sheet, probably a box even if you wanted. I've seen actually school projects where they've just used another big piece of paper that they spread their shaving cream on. So you want it to be in contact with the shaving cream so that it's on the paper. And you'll need an area where you can put down your paper. Now this transfers this to the picture. I'm just gonna smooth this back out for a second here. Whoops, I just stuck my bin on my paper, but that's okay. Okay, then you just take a credit card or cake thing like this, something firm and flat edge. You could even use a piece of product packaging. Whoops. This one seems to have the extra paint kind of sitting on the top, and I smeared it. I haven't actually had that effect before. Like I said, it is kind of messy. I may have had too much paint on here. Let's just throw some of this back in. And maybe spread it out. I was hoping to not get such a dark color so quickly, but we did. Okay, I hope you're all having a good time. You could be crafting along with me if you wanted, but it's kind of messy. It might be better to just watch and then go do it yourself later. I know it's hard to do something on your phone that's when you're doing something messy, because you have such messy hands to touch the buttons. Already I can feel this shaving cream changing consistency. I think I got too much paint in there. You can also use the watercolor and food coloring, like I've said. I may have used food coloring in the past because I don't think I've used acrylic paint, so this is a first time for me to use the acrylic paint. I do like the gold, the metallic colors. That really brings out a nice pop. I'm hoping I can get a collection of nice signature pages. And if you get a little bit on the back, it doesn't really matter. Even if you get a big, like say right now I'm scooping that out, when you scrape it, it's gonna come out anyway. from under it. Okay, so this doesn't have color over the whole thing. But sometimes when you're scraping across, you spread that color out to some spots that didn't have any. So this one's interesting. I put it off to the side to dry. Every once in a while I'm going to wipe off my table, which you can see is well loved in the mixed media world. How about a little black for a pop of color, and we'll swirl that in. That might be kind of nice. We can see if that stays there. Let's see how this one comes out. You want to have good contact with your paper and the shaving cream. This blop off. And somehow the shaving cream transports the paint into the paper. Right? It's a chemical reaction of some kind. Even though that's pale, I think that is really cool. Let's add a little more gold and just kind of leave this as it is some, but maybe plop some of this back in. Because when you put your paper in, you're going to smush that down. Okay, let's see what this one does. I chose the red to try to do some different colors from what the other ones ended up being. I hope you can see this okay in the frame. And the back is just going to be a little interesting because we're getting a little bit of color onto the back. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a lot of color in this corner, but that's okay. That looks really cool with the marbly look there. Let's see if we can just go straight across. I think that's one of my new favorites. Let's move this one over. Make some more room. If you see any of my blue and white striped shirt in the camera view, this is one of my two favorite paint shirts. It's been well loved, well painted, so I like to put it on when I paint because I am admittedly messy. Let's see, what do we want to add now? Maybe a little bit more black. Let's see. It kind of turns gray in the prints. See if we can get some a little darker. I'm kind of doing a ziggy-zaggy mix here. And then maybe a added swirlies. I'm just using regular white bond copy paper for this today. I'm doing this on a Monday, but it will most likely be next Monday for one of my adding color to paper videos. Well, that's quite a bit of black. It almost has a little bit of a blue. The blacks are made up of other colors. And so some of them are bluer, some are other shades. Sometimes I get a line in there from where I'm scraping. It's kind of stuck. That's quite nice too. Maybe I'll just add a little something to the corner here. Put this one over to dry. Maybe we'll just try another one without doing anything different. There's still so much down in here. And that one did come out really nice. So it might be nice to try to do another one somewhat similarly. But no two will ever be the same because it gets smushed around and changed. Let's just slap this back in. Wipe it off a bit before we're scraping. Okay. We'll go this way. I'm not sure if that matters which way. That looks really green. That must be a blue-green in my black because there is no green otherwise. That's really pretty though. That over there. Okay. What should we add? Should we add a little brown? I always try to think of my upcoming journals. What kinds of paper would I like? I have actually 10 journals planned, but I'm working to get the pieces ready for them because I'm new to making these as a YouTube and to sell. I'm hoping to sell before long, but some pieces that have to be put in place. So by making things that I'm thinking of that might go in them, my first journal I'm going to make hopefully will be pretty soon. I have to get the cover ready so we can start the signature pages. And unfortunately, the sewing machine I normally use has decided to not work. So, plan B. When we get the cover done, we'll be able to get going on that. In the meantime, we have a lot of ephemera to make anyway. So, we'll just make some ephemera. Kind of want a little color in that corner, so I just flung some red in there. Oh, that's quite pretty. We have some places here where there's not really any shaving cream, so I'm really scraping this down. Kind of hate to mix it, but I need to get a surface down here again. Okay. These always come out a lot lighter because the shaving cream kind of, I guess, sort of waters it. That one is quite nice as well. Okay, keep moving these over a bit. Okay. There. Let's add some of this down in here. Oops. I feel like I'd like some orange. I don't know if I have orange. Excuse me, Snake. Let's see. There's always red and yellow to make orange. This looks nice though. It's not orange, but maybe better. Here's some orange. I could do both of these. I found some Honest Copper from Decor Art Patio Paint and Craft Smart Dark Orange. Okay. Sip of that. Okay, we'll put on a little bit of orange. Metallics do really add nice pop to these. Come on. Does not want to come out. I think some of that came out. It's got kind of a blockage though. Where did my brush go? Ah, underneath. Okay, so we'll spread this a little bit. I'm feeling this is getting thick. It's no longer quite the consistency of shaving cream. It's getting thicker, which means the paint is having a reaction on the shaving cream. It's going to get more difficult to do them, but we still have time to do some more if we hurry quickly and not add too much paint. Okay, let's see what this one came out like. We'll just add in some gold and this one on and let it sit there for just a minute while I scrape this one off. Sometimes you have to get enough scrape to get a hold of a corner. Where we're not picking up as much of the new color, but we do have a little bit of the orange and gold. This is kind of like when I was doing the previous ones. You start getting so much of that background color, you start losing the marbling and the variety. Oops. You have to like finger painting and mess to do this. It's pretty hard to do it without getting really messy. Okay, let's see. See, like this is under here. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. But I just scrape and see how it oozes out. So it gets it off the back as well. And those spots that were just white don't stay just white usually. You can always smear a little bit on it. So that's kind of interesting. A lot lighter. Wipe my hands off before I pick up this earlier colored one. I don't want to give it fingerprints of a different color. Get those out of the way. And this one up to dry. Give this a good washing soon. All right, so it's kind of this color background. What would we like to put with it? Actually, maybe a little blue. It's kind of a contrast. See if we can spread this out, some marbly pattern. Blue. Put a little bit in this corner. I apologize, I notice it in my videos. I tend to get quieter as I go along. Not sure why that is. Maybe I just get lost in it. I don't know. But I apologize if you can't hear me. Hopefully you can turn up the volume, and hopefully I can keep remembering to talk loud enough. Okay, so this is going to have some blue. And kind of a browny red. Well, it's a lighter browny red, but I do like the effect of that blue on there. I think that's really nice. Okay. Let's drop some of this back in because we're losing our layer. In fact, what if we I think we're getting down to the end of our shaving cream. You can always add more in, but we'll just stop at this when we get there. Put some back around the edges. Whoops. It reminds me of an effect that my earlier helper did, which I'll show you. Put a little gold on here. And painting my shirt. They did this with it. I think you can some in the corner there. Okay, this might be nearing the end of what we can get out of this. Myself, I'm going to try watercolors another day. I'm out of food coloring, but I'm going to try that another day too with this technique and see which I like best. So that's quite a dark one. Okay, let's see if I can get a hold of it. Well, that ended up being a nice shade there. And whoops, just stuck my finger on this one. Take my fingerprint back off. Running out of places to dry them. I'll just show you what I did, which made it sort of flat, but it's something that you can do. I just took and painted some on. We were near the end, and so this is an option. We have some kind of other shades around the edges here. See if I can pick up some of the red that's left in here. It's very purpley. And then just the same way we take it off. So it's a very muted thing, but you can see the different kind of lines that I made on that. Why don't we try another one? This actually was kind of cool, and we still have stuff in here to use. I like the little wiggly because it allows it to blend. This really has been getting mixed quite a bit, but if we dig down in here, we can get a little extra difference. Like that's a little gold and yellow in there. Here's some blue. This one isn't going to be quite as varied, but it's whatever digs down in there and attaches to the paper is what you get. There's a little red. Okay, I think we are down to the bottom of the barrel. Before I wipe that off, I'm just going to try something. Gonna make a reverse print. So let me move this and this mess out of the way so I have another place to set something down. Peel this one off. And then we'll scrape both of these. They're very muted. Be curious to see how similar they are. This is so messy. Don't know why it's leaving a line. We can take our paper towel too. Okay, so I think that's it for today for the Pearl Forest, from the Pearl Forest. I'll finish cleaning up my mess here, and I'll say goodbye for today, and see you next time with whatever mess we can get into. I just have to get a clean enough finger to turn off my video. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest. Have a great day.